Most people associate a Disney vacation with a family group. Without one, walking down Main Street can feel intimidating, as if you're missing the very thing that makes the trip valid. But waiting for friends or family to align their budgets and schedules often leads to a cycle of delays. This is the group consensus tax, the price you pay in lost time while waiting for others to agree on a date that never actually arrives. I'm Kelly, and this is My Disney Brain. Today, we're looking at why traveling to Walt Disney World alone is a logistical advantage rather than a compromise. Traveling alone grants you a series of logistical leverages that a group simply cannot access. Braving the parks by yourself allows you to navigate the resort with a level of autonomy that a group of 4 cannot match. This hesitation to travel alone is actually out of sync with how the rest of the world is moving. This chart shows global travel trends. While group travel remains stagnant, solo travel has risen sharply. When we look at efficiency and satisfaction, we see why. Solo travelers bypass the logistical friction required to move a group from point A to point B. The biggest barrier to a solo trip isn't the budget or the travel, it's the mental hurdle of walking through the park gates without a companion. Inside the parks, your mechanics shift. You navigate the physical environment and the queues differently than a family would. This matrix illustrates the time savings of single rider lines. At attractions like Millennium Falcon's Smugglers Run, choosing the single rider lane can cut your wait by up to 60 minutes. The trade-off is that you will be seated next to a stranger. For a solo traveler, this is a negligible cost for the amount of time recovered. You also have an advantage with the Lightning Lane system. While a family of 4 struggles to find large blocks of availability, a single guest can easily secure the individual cancellations that pop up throughout the day. By utilizing the single rider lines and a targeted rope drop strategy, a solo guest can often finish the most popular rides before the average family has even reached the back of the park. This agility lets you condense a standard family-paced itinerary, fitting 7 to 10 major attractions into the same window where a group might only manage 5. Without the need for stroller parking or midday naps, the layout of the 4 parks works in your favor. We can map the parks on this quadrant chart. The vertical axis measures thrill intensity, while the horizontal axis tracks how easy the park is to navigate at a steady, solo pace. Hollywood Studios sits in the high-intensity quadrant. Because it requires the most aggressive planning and has the highest concentration of thrill rides, it is the most rewarding park for a solo first-timer. In contrast, EPCOT sits in the high walkability, lower intensity quadrant. This makes it the ideal environment for a solo traveler who wants to focus on food and exploration without a rigid schedule. A successful solo trip relies on matching your personal energy to the right park, rather than compromising for the group's average interest level. Solo travel also simplifies dining. You can eat what you want, when you want, without the need for a 60-day table service reservation. This decision flowchart shows the most efficient paths to food. For those who want to keep moving, mobile order is the most effective way to skip the lunch queues. By placing your order 30 minutes in advance on the app, you can walk straight to the counter, avoiding the 20-minute physical line. If you prefer a sit-down experience, you can find walk-up availability at the bar and popular spots like Nomad Lounge or 50s Primetime. As a party of 1, you can often be seated immediately. Keep in mind that bar seating is limited and becomes harder to find during the peak dinner rush. To solve the problem of coming home with no photos of yourself, I recommend Memory Maker. It costs $199, but it ensures you have professional photos from the parks and rides without having to ask a stranger to hold your phone. Utilizing bar dining and investing in Memory Maker reallocates the financial singles tax into a frictionless personal experience. There is a specific risk to solo travel that many people overlook: physical burnout. Because you move at a faster pace than a family, without forced stops for others, you can exhaust your physical energy in half the time. For this reason, a 3 to 4 day trip is often more effective than a full week. You can cover all 4 parks thoroughly in that window, without the fatigue of a longer itinerary. The goal of a solo trip is a targeted, high-efficiency sprint that favors intensity over duration. Once the logistics are handled, you're left with the freedom to be completely present in the park. Watching the fireworks on your own terms, without needing to manage anyone else's comfort, is a distinct kind of magic. If you require shared reactions to have fun, solo travel might feel empty. For the traveler who values efficiency, It provides the most direct path to seeing everything on the map. If you need a foundational plan for your first visit, the Walt Disney World First Timers Complete Planning Guide is available at mydisneybrain.com for $37. For those ready to optimize every minute, our Solo Disney Strategy Kit is $17 and includes the specific single-rider itineraries we discussed today. Solo travel is the ultimate exercise in autonomy. Stop waiting for the group consensus and just book the trip. I'll see you at the park.